Hi guys, today we're going to look at when we use the present simple and when we use the present continuous. This is my mum. She lives in England. This week she's in Spain because she's visiting me. She loves coming to Spain to visit her family and because the weather is much better than in England. She usually visits me twice a year. Right now, she's sunbathing and relaxing in my garden. She's not too happy about returning to rainy England. Let's see what you can remember. Where does my mum live? That's right, she lives in England. But what's she doing this week? That's right, she's visiting me in Spain. Can you remember how often she usually visits me? She usually visits me twice a year. She loves the weather here. And what's she doing right now? That's right, she's in my garden, sunbathing and relaxing. She definitely doesn't want to return to rainy England. To talk about my mum, I used the present simple and the present continuous. Do you know why? I told you that she lives in England and she visits me twice a year, and that she is visiting me this week, and right now she's sunbathing in my garden. In these two examples, I use the present simple. I use the present simple because I'm talking about habits, routines and facts. My mum lives in England. This is a fact. She usually visits me twice a year is something that she regularly does. It's a kind of habit or routine. In these two examples, however, I use the present continuous. I use the present continuous because I'm talking about now or around now. For example, my mum is visiting me this week. This week is around the time of speaking. My mum is sunbathing right now in the garden at the time I am speaking. Remember, we can use adverbs of frequency and expressions of frequency to talk about our habits, routines and facts, to say how often we do something. We can also use expressions like on Saturdays to say exactly when something happens. When we talk about things which are happening now or around now, we can use expressions such as this week, this month, this year, at the moment, now, or right now. In the last video, we looked at how we form the present simple. Remember, we add an S to the third person, and to make the negative, we use don't or doesn't. To make a question, we use the auxiliary do or does, plus the subject, plus the infinitive form of the verb, and any extra information. In the short answer, we repeat the auxiliary from the question. Do or does, or don't or doesn't. Remember, we form the present continuous with the subject plus the verb to be in the affirmative or the negative, plus the verb plus ing. I am, I'm not relaxing. You, we, they are or aren't relaxing. And he, she, it is or isn't relaxing. Remember, if a verb ends in E we remove the E before we add the ing. And if a one-syllable verb ends in consonant, vowel, consonant, we double the final consonant and add ing. With verbs which are two syllables or more, if the stress is on the final syllable, begin, we double the final consonant and add ing. But be careful, we don't double the final consonant if the stress is on the first syllable. For example, visit. Finally, remember, to make a question, we invert the verb to be and the subject. Are you relaxing? Well, that's it for today's lesson. Remember to bring any questions that you have to class.